This product was gifted by MetaQuest. Welcome everyone to my Metal Hellsinger review. I hope that you're here for the badass music because we'll have plenty here. I've been eyeing this game since the first official trailer back at the IGN Game Showcase of 2020. And let me tell you, watching a trailer like this for the first time was quite amazing. We've never seen so many gathered legends making a soundtrack like this for a video game. The flat-screen version was well received, but did the developers do a good job at translating this game to VR? This is always a hit or miss, so let's find out together. Metal Hellsinger was released on September 26, 2024 on MetaQuest and is compatible with the Quest 2, Pro, 3, and 3S, and the developers of this version of the game are Lab 42 and The Outsiders. The best way to describe this game is as if Doom 2016 and Rockband would have been put in a blender and spit out a game. You get the aesthetic and gameplay of Doom, but the interesting thing is that every shot you take have to follow the beat of the song that's playing in the level. When you need to reload your weapon, you also need to do a gesture to the beat for a quick reload. And you also have a special for each weapon that you can activate when the meter is full. As you manage to follow the beat, your damage will increase and you get a multiplier that goes up to 16 times your score. When you reach that score streak, vocals will kick in the song. And let me tell you, when that happens, it's so satisfying. You really try to keep that streak because it's just so much better with the lyrics. But they make you work really hard for those vocals. The game is divided into levels, and at the end of each level, you will encounter a boss that you have to defeat. This part can be a little disappointing since every single boss except the last one is kind of the same enemy, but with different patterns, so it doesn't feel too exciting just defeating him over and over.
I remember this place like it was yesterday. Wish I didn't.
You know, when you port a flat-screen game to VR, I bet that it's kinda hard to figure out how to deliver cutscenes in an interesting way, and I find that they did a pretty decent job here. The animated cutscenes are delivered through your cave hub and you can watch them through the usual portal that you go through. And then the 3D cutscenes are delivered in third person while you watch the protagonist entering the domain. I enjoyed that and it did not affect my immersion. The story is about a demon called the Unknown who got her voice stolen by the judge. They then sealed her somewhere with no way to escape until one day she did, with her only mission being to recover her voice as the Hellsinger. Very simple, but it works. You're not here to listen to a full-fledged story after all. You're here to kick ass and kill demons, so it doesn't get in the way. The graphics are kind of hit or miss. The color palette works very well in the headset, but because the game is compatible with the Quest 2, I feel like the Quest 3 is taking a hit. This is not something that you can see here, but the resolution is also not the best. I'm not saying that it's bad. It's amazing what they were able to port here, but I just know that the Quest 3 can do better and I personally can't wait when the developer decides to prioritize the Quest 3. This game would have looked amazing. Okay guys, so we all know what really attracted us to this game in the first place. It's the amount of legends that they've gathered to make this crazy soundtrack. The music is a collection of heavy metal artists, and I might massacre some of the names, but we get Mikael Stenny from Dark Tranquillity, Matt Heafy from Trivium, Randy Blight from Lamb of God, Serge Tankian from System of a Down, and many more. Getting a full collection of songs from these artists is just insane. I'm going to tell you something. Nobody in their right mind would critique the soundtrack of this game unless you don't like heavy metal, because I have to say that it's one of the best original video game composition of heavy metal songs. Music is one of the biggest aspects of what makes a game fun for me personally, so this cranked my enjoyment to overdrive. There are 4 difficulties in the game: Lamb, Goat, Beast, and Archdevil. I went with Beast mode since Archdevil is locked up until you beat the game once. The balance of Beast was great. I didn't die too much, but that's good, because when you die in this mode, you actually have to completely redo the level. So let me tell you that I was really trying hard not to die. The difficulties affected your health, the enemy's health, and how much offbeat you can be to have the perfect score. Sadly, I couldn't defeat the last boss on that difficulty, and for the sake of not having too much time to make the review, I had to tone it down one level, but I know that I could complete it with more time. What's cool after you unlock the Archdevil difficulty and try it, the enemy placement is different. You'll actually have an assortment of enemies from the last level inside the first level. and they even introduced new enemies, so they did a really good job with that difficulty, and makes the game worth replaying a few times. It took me around 4.5 hours to complete, but I could see people take less time than that. I just took the time to enjoy every single minute of it. Every level also has 3 challenges that you can complete to obtain sigils. You are allowed to equip 2 sigils at a time, and these gives you a nice type of buff that gives you some advantage, like your score streak not getting affected when you get hit once, and things like that. These sigils are also needed to complete the Archdevil difficulty, which makes sense to why it's only unlocked after you finish the game. I'd probably go ahead and get all of the sigils before even trying to complete it that way. So sadly, there are some annoyance and frustrations in the game. The first thing is that the sword really sucks. No matter how much I try to swing it to the beat, it never really works. I'm not sure why, but it just never works well. It's like it never hit the enemy right on the beat, when I'm sure that it does. The second thing is that I've encountered a few glitched areas where it's just missing some or all of the assets. This one time I just needed to wait for all enemies to fall to their death and then move on to the next level. The last thing, and oh my gosh, this one is annoying. Sometimes you press the finishing move to gain some health, but it just doesn't trigger. I mean, look at this part where you see my sword switching for the finishing move and it does nothing. Man, this part really frustrated me since I was at the boss and died because of it. This may only be an issue in Archdevil mode since I didn't notice it happening before, but this is the hardest difficulty. This is where you'd want it to work. Alright guys, even though there were some frustrations, I can forgive them because otherwise I had an amazing time with the game, and it wouldn't surprise me if I jumped back to it at some point to play some more. The nice thing is that these issues are fixable, so I'm hoping that the devs are actively looking into these issues to make the game perfect. Don't let these discourage you. This game is super fun and I recommend it if you want a fun heavy metal adventure in VR. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more great VR reviews, and let me know in the comments what is one of your favorite heavy metal songs. I'd love to expand my knowledge. Have a good one guys!